Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at the new China Glaze Holiday 2021 collection called Jewels Royale. There are actually 8 pieces in this collection. Lots of times I do a 6-piece. This one has a couple more pieces, and we have a whole mix in here. We have glitters, we have dense shimmers, we have fine shimmers, we have larger like micro flaky shimmers, and a pretty good range of colors. So I'm so excited to swatch these for you. A couple of these shades were held up from my favorite online e-tailers because China Glaze held a few polishes back, maybe due to like some COVID complications or maybe formula complications. But in any case, I've been eagerly awaiting these shades to swatch them for you, and today is finally the day. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let's get into these colors. We're gonna start with 24K. So immediately when I swatched this, I thought this looks so similar to a number of things that China Glaze has released recently. We are going to look at, I think, 4 comparisons for this in the dupes and comparisons portion. No exact dupes. This one is gorgeous. One of my faves out of the collection. Look at those large micro flaky shimmers that they used in this. It's kind of like a gold with a tiny, even little touch of like coppery in there. But I think this one is great. One of the stars of the show. Next up, we have Emerald Magic, another star of the show for me. So this is a deep, let's call it evergreen. And it has, again, some kind of larger particle shimmers, very reflective. We have Christmas colors in this emerald green. I was very pleased with the way that China Glaze used some more interesting components, some better components, some components that have more depth to them that made me think that they thought more about this collection. This one is beautiful, and the shimmer, you do actually see it on the nail. This one's bordering 2 to 3 coats, so depending on your visible nail line, you might need 3. I just did 2 for the full hand swatch right here, and the whole time, you can see in the macro, I was like, oh, should I go for a 3rd? So you might need a 3rd, or you can just put on like All About That base if you want to. Glistening Pearls, this is another sheer one that could definitely benefit from a visible nail line blurring product like All About That base, but it is a peachy pink, and we'll just go ahead and call it salmon. It's more pink maybe than peach, and it's filled with this beautiful blue shimmer. And then the component that I don't love in this polish is this kind of almost see-through white flaky that I feel like was a little bit of a waste. It kind of just adds a little bit of texturing to this product without giving you any great payoff. That's 3 coats on my nails there. I wish that they'd used a different flaky in there. That's what kind of made me not love this polish. I think that's my least favorite out of the collection. All right, this is the Holographic Champagne kind of glitter, but it actually, you can see it has like these little teeny micro glitters in there that are showing up that look kind of like green. I think those are like maybe even like a red to green shifty glitter, but they don't show up a ton. But overall as a whole, when you wear this polish built up in 2 to 3 coats, you just get a lot of twinkle, a lot of color, and it's not really from the holographic glitter. The holographic glitter doesn't have an awesome payoff, but there's a lot of shimmer in there, as you can see, blue shimmer, and we just have a lot of twinkly things. I think there's actually a couple shimmers. So while this wasn't my favorite, I did like that they put a lot into that polish. It's very textured though, use a lot of top coat. Next up, we have one of my faves out of the collection, and I do have a lot of things to compare with this polish, but no exact dupes at all. This is a very berry leaning red, as you can see, and again we have large shimmer particles. It's almost a micro flaky, which I love that China Glaze is using these because you get a lot of payoff. It shows that they thought more about the appearance of the polish than the bottom line, which I really appreciated. This micro flaky shimmer goes from like a red to a golden-y copper a little bit, and I was able to capture that on the nail just a tiny bit in the second photo, but just believe me, it's there. It's beautiful. Again, one of my faves out of the collection. I find myself trying to talk so quickly through these so I can get you gone. If you're looking at the time of this video, we're going to be done in 7 minutes with the live swatching, and the tail end of the video is the dupes and comparisons portion. So this is Sapphire Up, and the micro flaky shimmer in here is what is lending more of that sapphire quality. The base is kind of more of like an aqua, almost green leaning blue, which I thought was interesting and definitely made it different from some of the other polishes that I compared it with. But we will look at a few comparisons for this one. I also loved this one on the nail. You're either going to want to use a blurring base coat maybe with this one, or do 3 coats. I just did 2 here, and I wished that it had the little extra oomph that it would get from a little bit better opacity, but I did really like this polish. So that's Sapphire Up. Next, we're going to look at Spoil Me Royal, and this is a beautiful shimmering violet shade that is, it's like wants to be a duochrome. You can barely see a little bit of bluish, like a navy to green shift on the edges and extreme lighting angles. It's a very beautiful polish. If you're thinking to yourself, this looks super similar, that is because in the most recent collection that China Glaze released, the Halloween 2021 collection, they actually already launched this shade, which ended up making this polish incredibly disappointing for me. As you can see, it does apply really nicely, and if you didn't pick up that Halloween collection, I think this one is very beautiful. Again, maybe 2 to 3 coats needed on this polish, and we'll talk more about the dupe in the upcoming dupes and comparisons portion. This is another one of my favorite polishes out of the collection. It's a really beautiful kind of glowy blue. It has a strong greenish gold shimmer, as you can see. I took a little break there to wipe a little bit off of my brush because I'd overloaded a little bit. This one gets opaque for me in 2 coats. It dries kind of satin, but not that quick drying matte formula that's so hard to work with. I thought this was beautiful. I do have a few comparisons for you coming up, some things that are similar, but no exact dupes here, so I was pleased about that. And like I said, this ended up being one of my favorites out of the whole collection. So this is Stay Frosted. All right, we're going to be moving into the comparisons, which as always are requested by you. So I'm just doing my best to show you guys some things that might help you out with your purchasing. And I also want to make a special note that I am never trying to like go after a brand. I'm just simply reporting my findings, and sometimes you get my feelings associated with those findings. All right, guys, so we're going to start the dupes and comparisons portion. As you can see, this one here is just comparisons, no exact dupes. I pulled together all of the releases that China Glaze has done that I could find that are either super dark black bases with like a goldish green element added, or as you can see, that one on the edge has a green base. So no exact dupes, but we have Hex Boyfriend there. That has a top coat on it. It's normally super, super matte, but it does have a little bit of gold shimmer in it, so that's why I included it. Wicked Liquid, which is also more of a satin matte finish, that's top coated as well. 24K in the middle. Cast a Spell is the most similar. In fact, they would probably be dupes if it weren't for the fact that 24K has a sheerer black base. So the gold element that they've used is probably super similar to Cast a Spell, but you can see it a lot better because it's in a sheerer base and they used more of it. So that's the closest one there. And then on the end we have Green with Jealousy. All right, on to the Raspberry Ruby Red there in the middle. We have Ruby Riches. So these are all pretty similar in base color. They all have a little bit different of a shimmer. The two on the edges are more of like a glowy shimmer. Then right coming in, you have a little bit larger of a shimmer, and Ruby Riches has the largest shimmer, more of like a micro flaky. So you're getting similar looks with all of these, but I do think that the one in this collection is the most beautiful. That's just my personal preference, but if you're going for something like glowier, go with the ones on the side. So again, we're going to go across, straight across. We have Better Not Pout, Who Wonder from the Grinch collection, Ruby Riches in the middle, then we have Rose My Name, and then on the end is Vertical Rush. All right, next up we have the Sapphire Comparisons. Again, here just comparisons, no dupes. Everything we're looking at today is from China Glaze, by the way. So when you want to Google any of these things we're talking about, it's all China Glaze polish. So in the middle you have Sapphire Up. These are all at 2 coats. Next to it we have Dorothy Who. And then we also have Grover It on the side, which is more of an indigo, and I really, really like that one as well. So some similar things, no dupes. All right, so next we are on to the exact dupe in the collection, and to be honest with you, this wasn't my favorite polish to begin with out of the collection anyway. I'm talking about Spoil Me Rotten. But when I discovered that China Glaze literally released this exact polish in their Halloween collection, I was quite disappointed. I've just got to be honest. So I'm talking about Purple Tonium, which is right here on the end. As you can see, it's normally matte, but I'm going to top coat it for you, and you will see what I'm talking about. I remember when this polish came out, I thought, oh, this is a fun glowy purple, and it has a teeny tiny shift on the edges, but I mean, what's so cool about this polish? And then it dried down matte, and I was like, oh, okay. But you know what? It's the exact same polish as Spoil Me Rotten. You guys, it was really such a bummer when I discovered that. I don't think I've seen a more exact dupe from them, especially in back-to-back collections. All they did was put one in a matte base. So I don't know why that choice was made, because you can literally just take a matte top coat and mattify Spoil Me Rotten, or do the opposite with Purple Tonium, put a glossy top coat on it. So that one is kind of a bummer for me to uncover. The other two that are on there are more interesting purpley bluey kind of duochromish shades. You have Having a Crystal Ball there, and then you have Pondering on the other side. All right, and then on to the last polish in the collection. Stay Frosted is there in the middle, and I have it next to two other glowy blues. So right away, I was thinking about another blue that had some gold shimmer in it, and I found it in my collection, and it's Joy to the Waves. They're not dupes though, because Joy to the Waves goes much more golden in its shift. And of course, as you can see, it has a different colored base that it's sitting in. And I don't think it gets as matte or more like satiny as Stay Frosted. These all have top coat again. I've top coated everything so that we can see the shimmers a little bit better. And then we have Crushin' on Blue on the other side, which, if anything, shifts more to like a sapphire, like an aqua to sapphire, whereas Stay Frosted is almost like, it's just a really strong aqua to like a tiny bit of like a white gold edge. But if you're wanting something that goes more golden, go for that Joy to the Waves. That one's a pretty cool polish as well. But Stay Frosted has a superior formula to either of these two. All right, guys, so like I said, you can find the collection now at polishpick.com. I think these are limited edition shades though, so if you saw anything that you love, make sure and snag it sooner than later. And you can find a lot of other things over there too, a lot of new recent collections from mainstream brands, so you can kind of one-stop shop, pick from a bunch of different collections at the same time. That's a thing that I always like to do. So in any case, let me know what your faves were down in the comments below. Overall, I think I give this collection like an 8 out of 10. A couple of the polishes were super, super great. There were like maybe one or two that I was just like, but I thought the color selection was great. Everything swatched nicely. There were no problematic formulas. And I think that it gives you a lot of fun stuff to play with for the holiday season. So again, let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to see what you think. And let me know which ones you're going to be picking up. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already. And I'll see you back for the next one very soon. Bye.